Who doesn't enjoy a cool dip in their favorite pool or lake or otherwise? But some bodies of water hold dangerous secrets. Join us as we have a look at some of the most toxic bodies of water. The Blue Lagoon. Now, with a name like that, it probably makes you think about tropical waters or even the movie that was hit or miss. But who would think that the Blue Lagoon was actually dangerous? Located in Derbyshire, UK, the Blue Lagoon was created by a quarry that was misused, located in Harper Hill, and dubbed Far Hill Quarry. It earned the name based on its blue tint, and soon became a spot that locals and others would go to. But why is it so dangerous? Well, as it turns out, the water has a pH level of 11.3, which makes it nearly as toxic as ammonia or bleach. Now, to give you a minor perspective, an alkaline level that high can cause a lot of issues, like infections of the skin and issues with your stomach if you should ingest it. Now, as if this weren't bad enough, the lagoon also has animals that have died, debris like car parts, and even human waste. In order to discourage people from trying to swim in its waters, the council for the area decided to take a drastic measure, and then they dyed the lagoon black in 2013. Prior to being dyed black, though, the blue color that attracted people was caused by the limestone rocks surrounding the quarry, which created calcite crystals into the water, giving it its appealing hue. The Rio Tinto River. The Rio Tinto River is located in Spain and has an elevation that goes into the Sierra Morena mountains. Now, as far back as 3000 BC, the mine had been used for mining precious minerals like copper and gold and silver. The mines then became dormant after some time and were not discovered again until 1556. Then, in 1724, the Spanish government decided to utilize them once again. It's believed that the river then became dangerous with acidity levels, containing a pH level of 2, and a hue that's credited to iron deposits within the water. Mine drainage, which was acidic, created many environmental issues, and because of the multitudes of metal deposits that are concentrated in the river. The Rio Tinto Company was founded in 1873 to make the mines come to life, and by the 20th century had become known for being one of the largest multinational mining companies in the world. While the mines are no longer there, the EMED Mining Company now holds control of the area. The river is now famous for its breed of chemolithotropic organisms, including iron-oxidizing bacteria. Dominica's Boiling Lake. Located in a national park whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, Dominica's Boiling Lake is a flooded furnarole. It's approximately 200 feet by 250 feet across, and there have been some differences in the level and the activity for the lake going back as far as 1870. In 1870, the lake was deep and ended up disappearing. However, due to an eruption in 1880, it became instead a hot water fountain and a stream. There was another eruption which lowered the level another 33 feet in December of 2004 to April of 2005. Eventually, the lake would rise again, filling back up in just a day's time. It was reported in November of 2016 that it was no longer boiling, and guides in the area said that the waters had cooled considerably. This report would prompt people to go swim in the lake, but the lake has been known to have periods of cooling and then going back to boiling, and it's not really known if that changes suddenly or over time. Lake Karachay. In the southern Ural Mountains of eastern Russia, you're going to find Lake Karachay. It's been dubbed one of the most polluted spots in the entire world. But why has it earned this title? Lake Karachay and the areas surrounding it are all contaminated with high levels of radioactive waste. The waste comes from Mayak, a prominent Russian nuclear weapon factory. In addition to the factory, Chernobyl's disaster added to the pollution, and it was reported in 1990 that if you were at the lake for just an hour, you were going to end up getting such a heavy dose of radiation that it could actually kill you. In fact, it's caused a 21% increase in cancer, a staggering 41% increase in leukemia, and a 25% rise in birth defects in the region that surrounds it. The river nearby, the Citarum River, was a source of water to villages. That river has become so contaminated that an estimated 65% of locals who use it get sick with radiation poisoning. The facility located there was kept a secret until around 1990, so that doctors who saw patients had dubbed it as a special disease, as they were sworn to secrecy and not authorized to mention anything about radiation in their descriptions of the illnesses. The lake is now filled up with concrete, which used to keep radioactive sediment from reaching the shore. The water in the Teca River is showing to have little radioactive properties, but it is said that you still can't use the water upstream. The Citarum River. You can find the Citarum River in West Java, Indonesia, and what makes this body of water so toxic is caused by humans and garbage. The river is a supportive system for over 30 million residents, utilizing the river for a multitude of things like agriculture, domestic, and of course individual use. In recent times, the area has seen an upspurt of industrialization, which created human and industrial waste. Now, the river, due to all of that, has been dubbed as being one of the most polluted rivers in the world. The many factories that surround the river dump in toxic material, such as arsenic and lead. The pollution in the river is so great, in fact, that it has caused many species of fish that reside there to diminish quite considerably. This is also due to the many households using the river to channel out waste, along with pesticides that are used in farming, also being put into the body of water. In 2011, effort was made to clean up the river, with an estimated time frame of about 15 years and an investment of $4 billion in order to help it be rid of its many issues. Johannesburg, South Africa. A multitude of bodies of water in Johannesburg, South Africa are considered to be highly toxic. That's because the rivers there contain high levels of the bacteria E. coli. One such area is Cheetah Bridge, located in Alexandria. The E. coli levels there reach up to 2.4 million per 100 milliliters, which happens to be nearly 240 times what is acceptable. The bacteria stems from human waste as well as animal waste, and when it rains, it causes E. coli to be washed into rivers, streams, and other bodies of water. When those are then used for drinking, it causes serious health risks like diarrhea and extreme cramping. Another area near Ivory Park is also known to be dangerous, containing a staggering 1.9 million E. coli per 100 milliliter. This amount of E. coli is enough to kill a grown adult. If the trend continues, the levels will go further up, and eventually all that the bodies of water will be good for is for sewage treatment. Part of the reasons that are given to cause these issues are metropolitan areas that have been accused of not providing enough education or resources to follow the environmental guidelines. The Tualatin River. The Tualatin River in Oregon is not exactly the place that you want to bring your four-legged friends. The river has an overflow of what's considered to be toxic blue-green algae. Algae that's thick and is located between Sherwood and Lake Oswego. Not only is the river not exactly friendly for pets, with an estimated 8 or 9 dogs dying from it annually, but as it turns out, it's also dangerous to people. In 2008, residents who came in contact with the algae were advised to immediately wash their hands with soap. While it's called algae, it's actually a bacteria that uses sunlight in order to convert it into energy. People in the area had been warned that if they swallowed the algae, they faced possible nausea, fainting, diarrhea, irritation, and even paralysis. The only solution that officials in the area have been able to come up with to try and help get a handle on the serious situation is to take fresh water from other sources and dump it into the river. In the meantime, though, it's simply suggested that you keep your furry friends and those that you care about away from the river in order to avoid possibly fatal incidences. Horseshoe Lake. With a name like Horseshoe Lake, how could it be anything but good? Well, unfortunately, Horseshoe Lake is located in California, and it's anything but lucky. It was at the Long Valley Caldera Field that people began to notice that trees in the area were dying. and in the 1980s, they could not figure out exactly what was causing the deaths. This lake is part of Lassen Volcanic National Park, and the chambers beneath the lake are emitting levels of carbon monoxide that are potentially and have proven to be fatal. In 2006, 3 campers who went to the lake for some fun and relaxation found anything but that, and died from carbon monoxide poisoning. The unpredictability, in fact, is so heinous that people can relax at times with no concern, and at other times, it can be so fatal that they could die. The lake is dangerous when the weather is good, and it's also dangerous when the weather is not. Warning signs also advise visitors of its unstable areas of snow, which has also led to its fair share of issues and death. The Mississippi River. The Mississippi River has earned the title of the second most polluted waterway, being beaten out only by the Ohio River. The Mississippi River contains a reported 12.7 million pounds of chemicals known to be toxic, like arsenic, benzene, and mercury. This dumping of chemicals would take place in 2010. One of the companies responsible for the high level of pollution is ExxonMobil. Located in Baton Rouge, it's been notably found to be responsible for 1/3 of the discharges that cause the pollution. Perhaps the main problem with being able to hold those accountable who have been quickly causing the beautiful body of water to become polluted and having destroyed many of the ecosystems that reside there is that these companies are in fact self-reporting. In 2007, it was reported that over 2,900 facilities in Louisiana were inspected, and were found that 303 of those were in violation. Everyone hopes that the Mississippi can be restored to its former glory, but as of now, it's still so polluted that it's not recommended to frolic within its waters. There are many vacation spots to visit. Somewhere warm, somewhere cold, or somewhere with corpses. In these modern times, we bury our dead or cremate them. What we don't do, generally, is build catacombs using their skulls. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened in our history. On the other hand, sometimes corpses are found in mass in one place, for whatever reason.